Okay, we are live. Hello everyone. Welcome to another Hugo's Desk stream. So yeah, really lovely to see everyone here. We have a lot of people today watching. And thank you so much again for being here. Just please make sure you let me know if the sound is good. Always a bit afraid if the sound is a bit weird or something, because sometimes I have some sound issues, but hopefully everyone can hear me correctly. But yeah, so welcome to this stream. We are basically, back again. I've told you last time that we were going to do this weekly now, not the Nuke composting, but I'll be the big announcement really for today is that I'm going to be doing streams every week. So the new day is Thursday. That's the new day. And I'll be here every Thursday doing streams. Now, I'm going to alternate between these streams, which are the deconstruction, which is the Nuke compositing based streams, and alternating with the showreel reviews. So this week we're doing Nuke compositing. The next week we're doing showreel reviews. The week after we do Nuke compositing again. The week after we do showreel reviews. Now, I'm going to try to do live. I'm still probably considering doing them at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just because I've got a lot of messages from other countries all over the world asking me if I could do it a bit earlier. So next week, I'm doing this at 3, just to see how it goes. So I'm going to start doing them at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, UK time, of course. So yeah, that's the announcement. I'll be here every week on Thursdays, alternating between Nuke compositing and showreel reviews. Next week, the showreel review is at 3 o'clock, just before the Foundry stream. And Foundry, which of course are the sponsors of this stream. So I can't thank enough for them to sponsor the stream. So as you can see here, I have here the t-shirt. And Foundry was very lovely to sponsor these streams. Thank you so much, Foundry, for the entire team there. And yeah, they're lovely and they're always supporting my stream so much. And of course, don't forget that we have a giveaway today. We have 2 giveaways actually. So we'll have 2 giveaways during the stream. One of the giveaways is going to be for a Nuke Indie license for 1 year, completely free. That's like a free license that costs normally £500. And also, we will have a Nuke course from Hugo's Desk as well for free during the stream. So that's it. Yeah, that's it really. I can't see the really weird Nuke YouTube is acting up here on my side. I don't seem to have the stats. I've lost the stats. Let me just go back here and do the normal switch it in, switch it back again to see if it works. I'm gonna just see if I can get it to work, because I do need to see the stats to see what's going on the stream. So hopefully everyone is watching correctly and everything is working. But yeah, I lost the analytics. I don't know why. Lost completely the analytics. So I can't see how many people are watching, can't see the graph, can't see how many likes, can't see anything. I just see the chat. So I'm assuming there are people watching. I don't know the figure. Usually I have a number, but I don't have the number today. So, having said that, I think that the other thing I wanted to mention is that if you want to be part of the showreel review, don't forget to send the showreel on the links on the showreel. You can find them already on my channel. So if you go to Hugo's Desk, I'll show you. I will show you right now. Give me just 1 second. A lot of love on the chat. Thank you so much for being so lovely. Thank you so much for doing that. Okay, so let's see here. So I'm gonna put my screen here and me on the corner. Okay, so of course this is the one we're doing. Oh, okay, so there's 100 people watching. That's amazing. I don't know because I can't see the number. So I'm very happy to see that there's 100 people watching. That's amazing. Thank you so much. 103 people. That's amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully the chats come, the stats come back, and then I can see. Yeah, I don't really know why I don't have the analytics, but that's fine. That's okay. Okay, so if you go to the live tab here on YouTube, you can see that I'll put all my upcoming streams here. So the 29th of February, that's the next stream. That's for the show reviews. And then the week after that will be the next Hugo deconstructs. So if you go to the settings here, don't forget to press the notify button so you get a notification. And once you go here, you can go to the more here, and there's a link here. So you can submit your show reel on this link. And then you basically click here, and I'm showing this because a lot of people ask me how to do it. So you just go to that Dropbox link and then you dropped it here. Do not forget that you need to email me or contact me on social media to confirm your slot. Otherwise, because I need to have you on the show live, I want to make sure you are to give you the opportunity to discuss your show reel and also to say what you have to say about your shots. So now, I'm saying that I'm going to be doing these weekly, but obviously some weeks I might not. So keep an eye on my social media, because sometimes I'm on set or sometimes I have a festival. For example, I'm going to go to FMX to present, and so of course on that week I won't be able to do the stream. So keep that in mind as well, of course, that sometimes I won't be here, but it will always be on my social media. Also, if you're not subscribed to Hugo's Desk, be sure to subscribe. I really would love to reach 100,000 subscribers. Reaching 100,000 subscribers is a huge achievement for my channel because I really want to have a checkbox and also a plaque for 100,000 subscribers. I'll also get access to more support from YouTube, which is also going to be very beneficial to my channel. So consider subscribing. It's free, you know. And I do all these live streams. I have a lot of videos. And of course, I have the podcast, the Visual Effects Notes podcast. We're currently doing the Oscar nominees, so we've done Guardian Galaxies, we've done Napoleon, we've done Mission Impossible, and we've done Godzilla. We only have The Creator left, which is going to be out next week. That's also another thing. The podcast is now weekly as well. And you can watch the podcast here on YouTube, and it has a lot of breakdowns, a lot of video show reels, and of course it has the lovely Ian Fales from Before and Afters with me doing the podcast. But if you are a person that want to listen the podcast, only listen, don't forget that you can always listen to the podcast on the YouTube Music app. Because they do have a YouTube Music app, which you can go, which is free. And that one allows you to, just go to Hugo's Desk here. Allows you to actually lock your screen, and you can watch the podcast here. So if you go to the podcast here, you can watch the podcast as an audio podcast. That means you can lock your screen on your phone, you can go for a jog, you can be on the gym, and you don't have to necessarily watch the video. Obviously, it still allows you to watch the video if you want to, but it has a switcher on the app so that you can watch the video or watch the audio, and that's a really cool way to do it. Okay, cool. Now, goes without saying that without the Foundry, none of this would happen. So besides doing the giveaway, they're also supporting the channel quite a lot. So before we start and before we open Nuke, I'm just going to run a Foundry commercial because, of course, they're the sponsors of this stream. And, I just want everyone here to show some love to them. They are doing an amazing job for the community. And this trailer that you're going to watch now is all about the educational side of the Foundry. So check it out. I'll show you in a second, and I'll be right back. Oh. Apologies, I forgot. Apologies, I forgot to put the sound to that. Now you should listen to it. Oh. Well, that's disappointing. It's always a bit of a garbage truck.
TV industry.
Here you go. Now we have sound. You already know how this stream goes. There's always a few hookups, but here you go. Here's the Foundry from the trailer from the Foundry.
Foundry's Nuke is the industry standard tool for compositing in the film and TV industry. We've produced and curated all the essential resources for learning Nuke and preparing you for the profession, as well as recommendations for other training resources. You'll learn compositing fundamentals, rotoscoping, keying, tracking objects, color management, 3D compositing, and much more. Our objective is to empower artists with all the knowledge they need to push their skills to the next level. Jump in and start learning today.
Okay, that's it. Again, thank you so much for the Foundry, for supporting the channel so much. It's always great to have you all here. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to close DaVinci because I don't need DaVinci for now. And let's just open up Nuke. So last time, don't forget that these streams that I'm doing, they're all available on YouTube as a VOD. And I have actually went to the trouble of putting chapters. That's something that I want to make sure everyone knows. So if you want to follow what we did last time, the video is here. It's the Valentine's Day stream. That was the deconstruction one. I'll change this thumbnail a bit later. I forgot to change it. So if you go to the video here itself, you'll see that there are chapters. You can always... I'm going to watch a commercial on my own channel. You can watch the replay of the chat as well once this commercial goes away. That's great. Just why am I watching a commercial on my own video? Come on. YouTube is... Am I the only one noticing that YouTube is getting worse? Oh, another commercial, of course, because we want to watch 2 commercials now. It's just getting worse. There's so many commercials on YouTube now. This shit is insane. But yeah, as I was saying, you can watch the chat replay. Now, I know the chat replay is not going to be here forever, so keep in mind that sometimes it disappears. But you can see that there's like chapters here. You see these little red things here. Those are the chapters of everything that we're talking about on the channel. Now, you can either go here directly and see the names of them, directly through the scrubber here, or if you want to, you can also go here to the more, and then you have all the timestamps, and if you click on one of these timestamps, it goes directly to that chapter. Now this takes a long time to do, so I don't know if you noticed, but I've done this on every video I have and on every podcast episode, so that you can very quickly go to the chapter. So for example, if you don't want to watch the chat that I'm doing now, like talking about the sponsors and talking about all of that. For example, if you go here on the last stream, you can see that you can go directly to the Heroes Arena trailer, which is starting at 19 minutes. So if you press here, it goes directly to that chapter. And if you press here to the compositing, you go click here and you can see the compositing section of the last stream. So if you've lost this last stream, just go back and watch it, and then you can watch the second time, because I'm basically going to follow up what we were doing here. That's the idea today. I'm actually going to just continue right where we were. So, okay, so and you can actually see here that the last shot that I was showing here was this shot of the city landscape with water, So that's what we're going to continue today. Okay, so let's just open Nuke here. And if you keep also in mind that if you have questions, keep in mind that I will get to the questions, but please consider that I'm, doing the stream and I'm alone, so I can't see everything that you are writing or asking. Okay, so yeah, and there is also the chapters on the side here as well. So if you go down here, you have the chapters. Now, it's a shame they don't have thumbnails for the chapters. It would have been nice. You see, you can actually go, just like Lucas is saying here on the chat, you can actually go through the chapters here directly. So yeah, I've taken the opportunity to do that on every video I've made so far. So please consider using them and rewatching them. Before I start as well, I'm going to just leave the 2 links for the giveaways. So I have the giveaway for Foundry, and I have the giveaway for Nuke. Today I thought that we were going to open the rest of the shots, and then I also want to talk about some of the equipment that I have here. Especially I want to talk about the keyboard I have here, which is the editor keys. And then I also want to talk about the scopes that I have here as well. I want to talk a little bit about the scopes I have on my vertical monitor here. And of course the video out that I have on that side. So I will be doing that, but after we open a couple of scripts, So yeah, so if you have questions, I'll get to them, but keep in mind that it might take me some time to get to the questions. Okay, so let's open Nuke. Where's Nuke? Now, I'm running Nuke 15 v2. Although this script was not done on Nuke 15. This script was done on Nuke 13, I believe, because this is a few years back. So I'm just going to open a couple of other shots to show you some. So because you probably already know the drill. This is a deconstruction / workshop. So I'm going to open a real. This is the real production shot that we did at the time. If you want to know more about the production, watch part 1, because I show the keynotes, I show the communication I had with my clients, I show some of the reviews, I show some of the versions, the edits, I go through all those things in detail. So you can always watch them there. Okay, so I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to just open up my video out, because I want to have video out on this thing. This was 24, enable video out. Yeah, I have the video out here. So, because this is the video out of the actual render. So this is the final render we did. So this is shot 60. As I said, we did all the shots kind of on the same way. Now this shot here is that. So now you're watching the actual output from the Blackmagic video out. Forgot to put the scopes here, actually. Just connect the scopes as well. Okay, cool. So that's part, yeah, so that's the scopes. I know you can't see the scopes, but I need to like set up a camera somehow for you to set up the scopes. I have a remote camera here that I've set up. Let's see if this works. I've never tried this before, so let's try this and see if we can get it to work. So I'm gonna go with that one. Yeah, it does work. Okay, I think it's a bit washed out though, but I need to like. At least I can show you. So these are the scopes. I'm going to stop this so that no one has an aneurysm watching that. So these are this is the Nobe OmniScope software, which, by the way, we have an affiliate link if you want to use it on to have, you know, so that you can support the channel. So that's the scopes, the entire thing. That's the vertical screen that I have here for the scopes. And so you can see that we start here from the top. We have, just, sorry about that. I need to like, press the button wrong. Okay, so as you can see here on the top, we have like a type of very subtle false color. The false color is kind of like a way for you to see what's overexposed. On this side here, we have the CIE plot. Then we have the vector scope here. And then I have a waveform here. This is a black and white luminance-based waveform as well. Of course, I have my audio meter. There's no audio meter right now because this is just a composite. Then I have like my actual viewer. And the whole idea with this is that I have a grid on it. The grid is just for me to see composition. And then down here, I have my... Oh, sorry. Sometimes it fails the connection. I need to like get a better cable. And down here we can see that I have my other false color. And of course, if I pump up the exposure, you can kind of see that that's what the false color gives me to tell me what's going on the shot. And then down here I have my Instagram and my saturation luminance. And on this side here, I have my Blackmagic 10-bit 4K HDR preview. This is a BenQ monitor. This is the SW27. Oh my god, I never know them by heart. Oh god, why am I like this? I can't remember the name of it. So it's the how don't I memorize this? Come on, Hugo. I actually don't know. It's the latest SW27. I'll check it and I'll let you know in a second. So yeah, that's my setup. And of course, down here I have my sphere because I have a lot of problems with my hands because of working too long. So I've bought a sphere because it's much better for my carnal temple. And then I have my stream deck here, which is actually telling me how many people are watching right now. 141. Let's look. That's lovely. Like that. So 141 people watching, which is really cool. And then in here, this is of course the ATM Mini Extreme. That's what's streaming, what you're watching. That's the stream. And that's of course my other scopes. And then of course the live stream going on there so I can see it. Because someone on Twitter was complaining why I have so many screens. So now you know why. Because I have the Blackmagic here, and then I have the scopes. Now, right now I can't see the, I have the chat on this side here, as you can see, so I can see the chat while I'm doing all of this. And then, of course, in here I have my editor keys. This is a shortcut keyboard. I mean, I'm not getting paid by any of these people, by the way. I don't get paid by Blackmagic. I don't get paid by editor keys. I do have affiliate links for them. And I don't get paid by the scopes, but and Elgato, none of them are paying. This is just my equipment. So this is the I really use the Vinci a lot for. I really have to do this, and I have it with LED so that I can actually watch it at night. And then of course my Wacom tablet here, and that's it really. So that was different. We've never done that before, so I'm thinking that maybe this could be a good idea to sometimes show my office a little bit more, because a lot of people ask for it, and then I never really like show it. So I need to like do this more often. I think people would appreciate it. Anyway, let's get back to brass tacks, which was Nuke. So there you go. Now you should see it. Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I know it's Caesar board. I know it was the flickering. I need to change the settings on my camera. Okay, so this is the script. This is the real production script, as you can see here. And not too big, not too small. I tried to be very organized, and I tried to like make my artists also be very organized as well, hopefully. And so I have things separated here by the background. That's the background. Then I have like the sky here, and then I have the main character here. There's some geometry stuff going on here. Then I have some depth of field. Then I have some glows and glints and edge blurs and atmospherics and some glows, some grading, last minute grading and tweaking, and then some grain. And then that's the thing, and I've kind of forced my artists to be very organized like me. Now, the way, before I even go through everything, the way that I usually work is that I usually get these EXRs. Now, if I am working alone, I would get a multipass EXR that would be with everything built in, okay? So everything would be in it, merged. So you would have a multipass EXR. Now, when you're working remotely, you kind of need to split the EXRs because they get really heavy, and so to share them on Dropbox Business, it's kind of easier to share pieces than sharing a big file. Someone is asking me how many games I have. That's a hard question, but you see on the back there, I have more on the other side as well, but I have about 1,500 games on my collection, and I think about 500 PlayStation games or something like that. So it goes through a lot of ages, and there's a lot of retro. I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you later once we do the break. Let's continue with the compositing. I found it funny that you're asking me about that. So yeah, so that's why I split it, because it's a bit easier. So this is really nothing more than me rebuilding the shader. Now, you don't necessarily need to do this. You could always render, like you can merge all of these and then render them here, put a right node just here, and then you basically get this. You basically get a multipass EXR that has all the passes that you need. Now, remember last time, this is a multipass EXR. This is a EXR from Redshift. Now, one thing also someone asked me last time, why don't I have a LUT here? Now, this production had a production LUT. I don't have that anymore. At the moment, I'm using Rexham's. I'm using RGB for now. Obviously, when I did this, we were delivering to Rexham's 09. But I'm not going to put Rexham's 09 because, of course, my stream is not coming out like that, and it's getting too dark on the rendering. So I'm just going to keep it on sRGB. Now, keep in mind that this is not correct. I should not have an sRGB output if I'm delivering video. And my video out, like my actual Rexham's 09 video output, which is this one here, that's the actual signal going to my Blackmagic video out here that you saw here. So that's the Blackmagic video out. That's a Rec 9 signal, which sometimes I do as a HDR signal as well. So keep that in mind that it shouldn't be sRGB, but I kind of did that for the purpose of this stream. Now, if I was doing this shot today, I would have done it in ACES. That's how I work. I've been working in ACES for years now. I think I started on ACES like 3 years ago or 4. And this job was the last job I did without ACES. So even before you ask, there's no ACES here because this was the last production I did with ACES. Sometimes I have some difficulties of getting people to I have difficulties on convincing my clients or my pipeline to actually be in ACES. Like, I know a lot of people don't really know, but if you want to learn a lot about ACES, just go to Victor Para's YouTube channel. He has a great video about it. And of course, you know, Victor is also streaming every week, every Tuesday. So go and watch his streams because they're lovely. They're really good. And he has a lot of information about ACES. So then after this, I basically start rebuilding my shader. And this is the same way. I rebuild the GI with the diffuse. I do a diffused indirect. Then I have a refraction, a reflection, a specular, an emission. I'll go through it in a minute, but I'm just going to show you an overview of everything before. Then I have a color correction, which usually is per object ID or cryptomat. Then I have a fog and a Y fog. I'll show that in a minute, how that works. A premultiplication, some glows. And then if you go all the way down here, we have the bokeh depth of field. The PG bokeh. It's still called PG bokeh on this script because when I did this script, bokeh was not part of Nuke. You had to buy it as a separate application. So, but yeah. Okay, so then we have the second layer. Now, the second layer is the same kind of thing. We have the main character here, and it's the same deal. We rebuild the shader all the way, and then we have the utilities. Then I have a 3D setup here, which I need to show you. And then, of course, I rebuild all the shaders, and then I have some color correction per object ID. As you can see here, all of them very organized. I'm very organized. Some fog as well, and then some bloom, some depth of field as well. And then I have some speculars, edge blurring, light wrapping, some atmospheres, and then, of course, final touches, grain, and that's what you get. Now, it's not the most amazing shot in the world, I can tell you that, but it's okay. I mean, at the time, if you've watched the first stream, the whole point of this was to get it to look like a video game. That was the idea. The cinematic, the client requested for it to look very similar to a normal video game. So it's highly stylized, although video games to this date still don't have such a good depth of field, though. I think they're getting close on Unreal on some engines, but yeah, they're still a bit far from that. Now, I must say, I forgot to mention that a while ago, but just wanted to thank so much for Sinem for becoming a member of my YouTube channel. Of course, obviously, your name is now gonna be on the credits of the podcast and also on my videos. So thank you so much for supporting the channel. Anyone can support the channel by becoming a member, or you could always become a Patreon as well. And also, I have a question here from Alexander. And Alexander did a donation as a super chat. Thank you so much for doing donation, Alexander. It's much appreciated. So Alexander says, when comping on old 2x anamorphic lenses, how does one work with the lens characteristics distortion being different at different? So, Alexander, this is a really good question, and I'm actually currently doing. I can't show you, of course, because it's not out yet. But I'm currently compositing a TV show for Amazon Prime. Can't tell you what the name of the show is, obviously because it's not out yet. But we're doing anamorphic, and it's been quite difficult, I must say, because we have to kind of really, I can't. Why can't I? There's something... I can't click on the chat. Why is that? There's always a problem there, isn't it? There's always a problem on YouTube. Just a second. Just give me a second. I need to like fix one thing because I wanted to answer Alexander, but I can't. For some reason, I'm going to do what they always tell me to do, which is to use Chrome instead of Safari. I think it could be that. It could be that Safari is bugging out. So I need to like open this thing. I'm going to try to open this thing on... yeah, let me just... I'm sorry. Apologies for this. Just having a bit of a problem here with my... See if Chrome is helping me with this. I'm having a problem on the back end for some reason. Yeah, I'm still having a problem on the back end. Even on Chrome, I can't really see the analytics or the... Okay, that's fine. I'll just use Chrome for now, but I can't really see the things that I should see it. But it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, going back to anamorphic conversation. So I'm currently doing a production for Amazon Prime. I'm compositing it together with my fellow compositor Bjorn, and yeah, it's all anamorphic. It's really tricky. And so what we are doing is we've used the lens grid, which was shot on set, and using the lens grid, the checkerboard as a reference to know how much chromatic it is. And that I probably could show you because I can't show you the work, but I can show you the lens, I guess, the lens grid. So I'll do that. I'll show you the grid that we have because I can't show you the work. I'm not sharing my screen because I can't show you what I'm doing for the TV show. But let me just show you the grids themselves because I think that will help you to answer your question. Let's see here. So 12, 13, 9. Need to find it. So because I need to only open the grids. I don't want to open I don't want to open. Let's see here. So 9, 8, 7. Okay, 7, 6 maybe. I know it's one of them. 6. 5 maybe. No, not 5. Okay, so I know it's here somewhere. I might need to open the shot. Let me just open the shot. I can't share my screen, so because I can't have you watching what I'm opening. But I'm just gonna open it real quick here. So yeah, so it is a pain. So we're using the lens grid to try to come up with a way to try to build the chromatic aberration, to build the vignetting blur, to build everything that is on the shot. So, and for that, I'm just going to like, let's see here, comp, CG. Maybe I can't show it. Oh yeah, distortion, there we go. So comp 1, see if I can open this and I can show you. Do I have? Yeah, I do. Yeah, cool. So let's see here. So I can show you this. So this is shot on an Alexa. So yeah, I'm gonna show this. You're gonna love this. Okay, so that's the lens grid that we got. Look at that. That's the lens grid we got on that show that I'm doing, which is not public, so I can't talk about it. So yeah. I'm gonna just like put the this is not working well. Oh yeah, because I need to have the IP on. Sorry. So that's the actual aspect ratio. Obviously, you can ignore the aspect ratio. This is a 2 aspect ratio lens, and this is actually Alexa 35 with the Ank V light 28 millimeter. And that's the actual lens that we've used for the production. And as you can see, well, these are the barn doors because they cropped the barn doors for this specific shot. So we used the barn doors exactly the same way. But you can kind of see how much the chromatic aberration is dropping. So if you go to the middle here, look at this. Almost no chromatic aberration. I mean, there's like a little yellow there and a little red there. Oh, you're very welcome, Alexander. You're very welcome, and thank you again for the donation. I can't thank you enough for donating to my channel. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. You didn't need to do that. My channel is free, but I really appreciate, because all the money goes into the running of the channel. So thank you so much for supporting my channel like this. But yeah, going back to this, you can see that in here, because we have such a different chromatic aberration from the middle to the back, you see in here we have a, I don't know, like, this is almost like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's like 12 pixels of variation. It's a lot. It's a lot. And once you get to the middle, and that's of course the blue and the yellow mostly. There's almost no red. It's usually this bluish glint tint and then the blue. And then if you go all the way to the middle, the variation is just like 1 pixel. So first of all, you kind of have to recreate the chromatic aberration filtering with a way. You have to use a node in, you can go to Wikipedia, there's a bunch of them. You have to go there and build one with settings that you have a pixel, you know, a pixel aberration of like 12 or 13 pixels on the edges and like 1 pixel on the middle. So it's almost like the middle is almost perfect, and then it gets worse and worse and worse as we go to the side. So that's the first one. Now, the node that I'm using, I believe, I mean, I can't show you the shot, but I can go to my gizmos here. I believe, what is the node that I'm using? I think it's this one. Yes, that's the one I'm using. So this is the FXT chromatic aberration. It's a pretty good node. If you go to Wikipedia here, I'm sorry I'm deviating from the script that I was opening, but this is important as well, I guess. So if I go to here, you can kind of see, let's see here. There's a lot of chromatic aberration nodes here, okay? So there's a lot, but after a bit of research, kind of figured that this one is pretty good. Has 10,000 downloads. This one was really good. So thank you so much, Thor, for, that's a great name, Thor. Thank you so much, Thor, for the amazing gizmo. So I'm using his gizmo to kind of like do the aberration between red, green, and blue and scaling, and then the center mask. Now, if I could say something, I would wish that this node allowed you to plug in like different color corrections, and so I'm still kind of struggling with this, but yeah, Thor is brilliant, and I really like his node. So that's what I'm using. Now, to continue answering your question, Alexander. Well, Alexander. Oh, yeah, Alexander, yeah. So to continue to answer your question, that's just the aberration. Then we have the blur. So what I usually do is I, pick up a checkerboard. Let's pretend that that's the new checkerboard we've done. I'm just gonna make it a bit smaller so that we have like bigger squares. So obviously that's the one, and this is the new one. It's not the same, but it doesn't matter. So what I usually do is, if you look closely to the lens here, it's really sharp on the, well, not too sharp, but a little bit sharp on the middle. And as you go progressively to the side, it gets a bit blurrier and blurrier and blurrier. And what I ended up doing is I use a radial here. And then, let's see here, I put a blur here. Sorry, not a blur, sorry. You can use the bokeh, but I'm going to just use the Z defocus because I feel the Z defocus doesn't get a lot of love anymore. So I'm going to use the Z defocus for this. So if I put it like that, and then of course I need a copy because I need to like bring in the... It's so funny. I'm realizing now that I still know the shortcuts by heart. I haven't comped in a couple of weeks now, and I still remember them all by heart. It's fascinating to think that I've been using Nuke now. I just realized this just the other day. I've been using Nuke since 2005. This means next year I've been using Nuke for 20 years. That is insane, isn't it? I feel so old when I think about that. Jesus. That I've been using this thing for 19 years now. That's why I know it by heart. I think 19 years is enough for you to memorize something. Isn't the thing that people say? The 10,000 hours, and if you get to 10,000 hours, you memorize everything. I guess that's true, right? Anyway, so I guess, where was I? Yeah. So the radial is here. Obviously, I haven't done it yet, but the radial is here. The defocus, I'm going to just do red channel to Z, and then I'm going to open my defocus. Now, I'm just doing this by blind. I'm just showing you, but what I would end up doing is like I would end up doing this. I would use well, Marcelo, I've been using Adobe for longer than that because I've been using After Effects, Premiere, and Photoshop since 1996. So that means that in 2026, it will be 30 years since I've been using Photoshop and After Effects. And that is even more depressing because I'm 45 years old. I know people probably don't know that, but I'm 45. I was born in 78. So 1978, on the 70s. Okay, so basically what I do then is I kind of look at this and try to figure out where it's pixeling. Normally what I do is I try to put a checkerboard that would be similar. So I normally download the actual checkerboard we printed on set, bring that checkerboard into Nuke, which I don't have it right now here, but I bring it as a JPEG into Nuke, set it up to the exact same scaling and resolution as the anamorphic checkerboard, and then once I'm doing that, basically, did I switch off the ignore pixel? Why am I not having the? Oh, okay, so then once I do that, I bring in the original JPEG, set it up here, and then progressively put the blur, the chromatic aberration until I have a match, and so then I try to match my fake checkerboard that I brought in to the real checkerboard. And once I have a match between anamorphic, between depth of field, blurring, and chromatic aberration, then I move my entire setup into the real shot. So that's the way I do it. I don't know if it's correct. Who knows if it's correct? Doesn't matter. So if this is now your depth, that means that if I go here, I'm just going to put this to RGBA. Don't crash on me. Don't crash on me. Okay, so once I'm here, I'm going to set this up to let's see here. So I would do focal plane setup. Now, my focal plane is on the middle there, and I'm going to open up my depth of field. So let's say that, well, let's not put blur aside. This is just for example purposes. I think my radial is not centered. Yeah, it is not centered. So let's say that that's the one. So, and now if I go here, I can go result, and then as you can see, if I go here, and I'll just gonna exaggerate so you can see what I'm doing. So hopefully you see it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, what did I forget? What did I forget? Depth. Oh, wait a minute. Am I doing this correctly? So that's the radial, red RGB, and then I go to red depth to see if the depth is there. Yeah, depth is there. RGB, depth of field, and then I go to result focus. Oh, wait a minute. I did this wrong. Sorry about that. Yeah, there we go. I was going too far. So, and then I go to result, and as you can see now, if I go to 20, let's exaggerate this thing. Now, as you can see here, I now have, it's still running. Don't crash on me. Please don't crash on me. Okay, so, yeah, I think I went a bit too far with the depth of field, but that's normal because I'm just like doing an example here. So, as you can see now, I am blurred on the edges and not blurred on the center. Now, be careful with this, though, so because see the center thing, and of course then, you know, you start building this. I'm not going to do it now, but I'm just, like, showing you. You know, you would have then put this in here to try to do. I'm going to just do default settings, but you see then the aberration would start being done here as well. Now, as you can see here, it's getting centered, completely sharp. And then as it goes to the side, to the side, to the side, to the side, it gets blurrier, 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 blurrier. This is way too much, by the way, to the real one that we have. But this would be it. Now, of course, we would have also the distortion. So the distortion would be this, would be something like this. So I would put as redistort. Yes. I'm just showing you this thing. It's probably not gonna work. It's probably gonna destroy. This is not the same res. Yeah, I can't really do that. And never mind. You get the picture. So now be careful with one thing with the Z defocus node. I just wanted to show you this. Now the slices, if you get like some kind of slicing going on here because of the depth of field, you could always tweak it by the layer spacing. Right now it's automatic, okay? But you can always switch this off and put whatever value you think would do best. But yeah, that's it, Alexander. I would use the radial to try to match my depth of field edges. I would then use the Z defocus and the chromatic aberration node and try to rebuild my aberration slash blur slash lens stuff that exists on anamorphic. That would be my advice to you. But yeah, I guess I'm sure there's no Nukepedia nodes that can do this automatically, but I'm not sure. Anyway, we've been yapping for a long time. I'm going to now close this and go back to the script. Now, we need to do a break as well because we've been running for an hour already. And don't worry, I'm not going to go anywhere. We'll just do the break and then I'll come back later. I'll come back later. Yes, you're right, Nub. I would probably use a circle blur, not an oval blur. I mean, that's really like, I was just showing an example of, obviously, this probably should be like more like this because the lens cap is probably something like this, you know, because there's more cut on the top and on the bottom because of the anamorphic lenses. And so it would probably be more like this. It's getting really cropped now, so I need to like just crop this thing. So yeah, so just so we don't have like so much. But yeah, so that would probably be the way to do it. Now this is looking a bit more realistic anyway. So you're getting like a bit better version. Okay, so Alexandra is asking also, if you were supervising, would you advise to do some shots on clean lenses and rather add anamorphic characteristics on top of the clean lens? No. There's no way you're going to be able to advise that. I mean, you can try. You can try to advise it, but most of the time the DOP have a specific lens on mind, the director as well, and there's no way they're going to change their minds. You're going to just have to live with it and actually do it. Now, obviously, you can always recommend to use spherical lenses, but I really doubt that you would be able to convince them otherwise. I just, from experience, they just have their mindset for that lens, and you're going to have to deal with it, you know. But anyway, let's do a break. I'll come. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. I'll come back, and we still have the giveaways to do, and we still have to go through the scripts. We're doing this every week, so we'll go at the speed that we do, and we'll go at the rhythm that I prefer, and I think we'll probably be here for another hour or so, and then we'll wrap up. So I'll be right back. As always, don't forget that we do a responsible stream. So that means that we normally do 10-minute break. I want to make sure you drink some water, stretch your legs, go outside maybe, don't smoke, and just relax for a minute and get out of your desk for a bit. That's why I do these breaks for 10 minutes, because I just feel that it's just better. Also for me, I need to do a break as well. So I'll be right back and in 10 minutes. I'm just loading up my animation. And again, thank you so much for being here. I can't believe there's so many people here watching right now. I really can't thank you enough. I am over the moon by this amount of support that I'm getting from the community. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I'll be right back. We'll be back very shortly. I'll see you all very soon. Okay, we are back again. Can't thank enough to everyone that is watching right now. We have over 100 people watching. Thank you so much for being and taking the time. A lot of people weren't here in the beginning. Remember, I'm now doing these streams every week. Okay, so we are doing them every week. But I'm alternating between the Nuke compositing, which I'm doing today, and I'm alternating to the showreel reviews. So this week it's Nuke compositing, next week it's showreel reviews, and then compositing again, and then showreel reviews and compositing. And I don't promise that I'll always be here every Thursday, because sometimes I have to be on set, or sometimes I have to be on festivals. For example, I'm presenting at FMX in Stuttgart, Germany again. It's my 8th time at FMX. And so sometimes I won't be, but just keep an eye on my social media, and I will let everyone know if I'm having the stream or not. But yeah. Now, I brought a little beverage. I just wanted to mention something. Again, I'm not paid by this product, okay? I don't know if anyone has heard about this. This is called green cola. So this is a replacement to diet. As you know, I'm a big Diet Coke fanatic. I really like Diet Pepsi. And so, but Diet Pepsi has some nasty acids that really break up your teeth. Again, man, kid you not, I'm not being paid by Green Cola, okay? But if you haven't heard about it, Green Cola is amazing. They are completely natural, a natural Coca-Cola, and it's really nice. I'm gonna drink it now. It's really nice. I'm super happy with this, and if you haven't tried it yet, it doesn't taste like Diet Coke, but it tastes almost as good. It's very good. I'm gonna share the screen here. The reason I looked for this was because of my teeth, and because of course phosphoric acid is pretty bad to your teeth. It really breaks the enamel, and it, as my dentist told me. And so, again, kid you not, everyone, I'm not paid by Green Cola, okay? They did not pay me. I just found this product, and it's amazing. And it has, it doesn't have any sugar, it doesn't have any preservatives, doesn't have phosphoric acid, and it has natural caffeine. It gives you the bump like a Diet Pepsi, but it just tastes great, and it's green. It is great. It's actually not green, no. The color of it's normal Coca-Cola. It's like that brown, dark, almost black color. But it's fantastic. I am really happy with it. And I'll show you in a second and a bit closer. So there you go. So I have it here. You see that? That's the one. Again, I can't. Oh, I forgot. I did all of this and I forgot to put the camera there. Sorry. So that's the one. Green Cola. Really good replacement, really good to your teeth. Now, I promise everyone, I'm not getting paid by them, okay? I just really I'm obsessed by this drink. And I just wanted everyone to kind of, it's the cola for the visual effects artists. I guess it is, really. You're becoming thirsty? Yeah. Is it a European product? I don't know. I guess, let's see here. Didn't even check. Okay, so they have it. Okay, so that's pretty cool. They have it here on all these countries. They have it in Bulgaria, Cyprus, Greece, International, Poland, Romania, Serbia, UK, Germany, Netherlands, Middle East, Kazakhstan, and Malta. And I guess Iberia would be Spain and Portugal. And I guess international would be the United States, maybe? So yeah, so I guess it's, well, go and check it out. I'll put it on the description. If anyone from Green Cola is watching, maybe you want to sponsor my channel. maybe you could sponsor my podcast. Again, I kid you not, everyone. Like, I'm not getting paid by them at all. But it's I guess I should message them now to see if they want to sponsor the channel. Maybe I should do that. That would be cool. That would be cool. Okay, it's cool. So I buy it on Amazon, by the way, if anyone is interested. I buy it on amazon.co.uk, and I think it's on our Amazon. So if you have access to Amazon, you'll be able to get it. Sponsor on an episode on the Chroma Key. That's true. Oh man, I should do it. That is a fantastic idea, Liam. I should do that. I should use it green screen with green. Oh my god. That's a great idea. Okay. Now, I know we got a bit deviated by the anamorphic. Apologize for that. You know how it is. I sometimes talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. They just talk. Sometimes that happens. But I am going to also tell you that, of course, don't forget that by the end of the stream, we'll do two giveaways. A giveaway of the Nuke Indie license sponsored by Foundry. And of course, I myself am giving away a Nuke course as well for free for one of the lucky viewers of this stream. Okay, let's go back here. So never mind this. I'm just opening. Okay, no, this is open. For some reason, Discord closed. It's not going very smoothly today, is it? Trying my best. I'm trying my best. Okay, so let's go back to the production shot. Let's see if we can finish this. Okay, so now if we go step by step, I just wanted to show you. I'm actually gonna start with the character. This is the main character. This is the way that it came out of 3D. Now, I know it's a bit dark, but that was the whole thing. Like the client on the beginning, when we were doing this project, it was supposed to be a bit darker, and then progressively it got brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. I'm just going to increase the f-stop here, just so we see it a bit better while we're watching it through the stream. And maybe perhaps a little bit of gamma so you can see it. So that's the raw CG. Now, this is pre-baked motion blur, okay? Motion blur has been pre-baked, and the reason for that is because it's just easier to deal with motion blur that is already in 3D, especially when you have a lot of hair, a lot of clothing, a lot of cloth. And I know it's a huge hassle to kind of render, you know, like 3D motion blur. But I would really recommend that it's really worth it because you get so much out of it. It gives you this really, really beautiful high quality motion blur. Obviously, sometimes you get grain like you get here, but there's also solutions for those kind of things as well, of course. Now, from there, we put in everything. Now, we have the normal suspects. We have our GI, and then we have our reflections and speculars and emissions and diffuses. I don't need to show you what that is. Of course, the mask, subscuttering, subsurface scattering. Oh my god, I said that 3 times. And then I have the raw GI as well, and then I have the shadow pass, which I didn't use, I think. The diffuse raw, and then texture, just the raw texture. It looks just so funny. And then of course we have the depth of field, which is invisible, but there's like hyper values here. Then of course I have normals. I have a fake ambient occlusion pass. I still use these kind of things. It's a very old school thing, but I still use it quite a lot. And then from there, I have also object IDs. Now, I know this is a bit quaint because we now have cryptomats. Now, at the time when I did this project, there wasn't any cryptomat support for Redshift at the time we used it. So that's why we had to split it in red, green, and blue, and which is a bit more straightforward, I'll be honest, than having a cryptomat. But at least we had to, of course, bother our CG artists to render everything separately. And that's it then. And then from there we have the raw GI, which gets multiplied by the diffuse. Now, this diffuse was a bit changed. I have here something I did, which was I brought in the UVs of the project, of the character, because I wanted to, there was a time that I wanted to put, like, at some point, the client, like, you'll see there's a shot where we have rain. And so I used this to project some raindrops on the face of the characters. And we actually have that on this shot here. So I'm going to open that shot real quick. I believe that's shot, let's see here, which shot is that one? That's shot 630. Okay, let's just open that one up. 630, 630, 630, 630. Okay, cool. So that would be comp nuke 630. I'm going to open this real quick, the other shot. We'll open it later, but I just wanted to show you. No, it does not, Nub. So you have to mask it, but yeah. Okay, so I've also done vector blur as well a lot. Depends on the project, but okay, so that's the one I'm talking about. So we had like some raindrops running. Actually, I don't think it's this shot. No, it's not this shot. Yeah, okay. I thought I don't have that shot prepared. But I have a shot where we have raindrops falling through the metal bar. It's not this one. But yeah, you know what I mean. I would have, I think you've seen that on other streams that I've done before in the past. So by using the UV and then using a UV tile system, together with the rains and also the scratches, I have some scratches as well. And so basically what we ended up doing is we have some noise patterns. So I know this is a bit quaint, but it was too late for us to re-render everything, and so I decided to move the scratches into Nuke because I just ran out of time to be trying to, you know, I just feel like we couldn't afford to re-render, and also my CG artists were gone, and so I had to kind of like do it like this. And so basically using scratching, we kind of got this. We got like this kind of thing, and I know it looks horrible, but we're not using it like this. And then of course I motion blurred it using the scanline motion blur, and this gives you these kind of scratch. But of course then we graded out some parts, so we only have the metal, and then we brought it into this thing here. So we have the texture and pre-multiplied, of course, the texture, and then we have a really extreme color correction to the scratches, and then I merge it on top, so we get these really bad scratches. But this is it's quite enough for if you watch it at the end here. So let's show you this here. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, yeah. So if I disable that, it does make a difference. Come on, man. Wake up. Yeah, so see, that's the... I should put this to full. Otherwise, we have to constantly render it out again. Okay, should put a elevator music. Okay, we're back. Okay, so yeah, it's just enough to give you like some scratches, you see. Just bounces a bit on the reflections, and just enough to like break up the perfection that the CG has. In my taste, I would break it up more, but we didn't really do that. Okay, so that breaks up that, and then this gets multiplied by the GI, and then that gives you that, and which is very low right now. But of course, we have the direct light, which I've pumped because of the moonlight. This is just a multiplier, and then we multiply it by the scratches, and then that is also the scratches being graded again on top of everything, so that I can add even more scratches. And so actually, in a way, it would be these two that we would have to disable or not to see the final thing. I was not disabling the correct one. So that would be this. Let's see here. So is it still switched off? Oh my god. This is the problem with the big script. It's like I have to like roll through it. Oh yeah, no, it's now I switched that on by mistake. Yeah, so see, it's quite a lot of difference. I kind of like it. It's my taste, really. Really depends if the client likes. I don't know if it's buffering again. Why is it buffering? It's buffered already. Why is it buffering again? Like, damn it. Nuke sometimes is just a bit. I've already put it to do full frame, and it's still not doing it. But you see it. You see what I mean. Okay, so once we have that, then we have, of course, the substance scattering. I did a bit of grading on it so that I could have a bit more light into it. I then softened, like got like this really soft glow going, merge it on top so that I could get a bit of more diffuse into the skin, so the skin would look a bit less CG and a bit more warmth. Can't go too far, of course. This is supposed to look like a video game. It's not supposed to look like a photoreal thing. And then I did even more. I had like a really subtle glow here and go there. And so these two do this, and then I have a bit of color correction to desaturate him, because I felt like, so if I remove all of that, this is how much I'm changing him. And then, of course, this gets merged. We had this. Look at that. Oh. And then we merge the face. It's all in pre-multiplied right now. Then we have the refraction, which is the eyes and the metal crystals on the suit. We graded them a little bit, and then that gets merged on top, so you get like both the eyes are there, which are the refraction, and you can control it if you want to. And then I also have these crystals as well that are lit up now as well. And then from there, I have my reflections, which are the pure reflections. I pumped them a little bit so that I could have a bit more light into them. And that gave me this. That's the reflections coming in. And then specular light, that's the raw specular light. Graded a little bit, contrasted a little bit so that I have like this kind of shine of the moonlight, just to make it a bit more artistic and more a bit more. Now, keep in mind, none of this is exact or mathematic. I'm just doing whatever I can to make the shot look cool and get the client to approve it. Now, if you want to be more exact with scientific things, you'll probably want to check out my, like, on these deconstruction series, which I'm going to deconstruct most of my projects. Once we get to the Zeiss project, which is probably going to be the next stream, or maybe the stream after that, once we get to the Zeiss project, you'll start seeing where I have to match the CG to the real life plate. And so, of course, that's a very different conversation, because then I can't really play around with speculars or reflections or anything like that, because this is a more artistic approach because it's a full CG shot. But if I'm doing that shot, then it's a bit more by the book. You know, it has to be a bit more by the book. So keep that in mind. Once we get to the Zeiss project and I deconstruct that one, you'll see. I have a mixture of projects that I want to share on this stream. Some of them are more photoreal, others are more stylized, and we'll go through them. Okay, so then the specular comes in, quite a huge difference. And then I think last but not least is the emission. Now, the emission would be anything that is emitting light. In this case, it would be the crystals, and then that gets merged in. Now, from there, we have some extra color corrections here. So I have the ambient occlusion here, which I've removed the face and then graded the face out of the ambient occlusion, because I didn't want to do the ambient occlusion on the face. You see, if I don't have this, you see, it damages the face quite a lot. It actually destroys the eyebrows and it destroys the eyes. So I kind of like, that's a good question, Alban. Alban asks, when you get handed a CG shot like this, how long do you usually spend working on it? Days per shot? It depends, Alban. Like, on this project, we spent 3 months on the entire trailer. That's like 60-something shots. It depends on how far the client lets you go and how much you want to contribute to the creative process. I would say that I never do anything that at least I don't have at least 3 days on the shot, but it really depends. Sometimes it takes me a day to do all of this. Sometimes it takes me 3 days. Sometimes it takes me 5 days. Some shots might take 2 weeks. It depends on how much feedback you get. It depends on how much, like, how many problems you might have on CG. You know, I don't know. It's difficult. I don't know. I normal because as you guys know, I have an art degree, so I approach everything from a very artistic method, and because of my art degree, because of my fine arts degree, and so I finish when I'm finished. I don't know. I keep working and working until I delivered it. So sometimes I work for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 days, 4 days. I just keep pushing the shot as much as I can. Now, keep in mind that nothing is ever finished. That's my goal. I don't think I've ever finished a shot, ever, in my entire life. That's just the fact of life. Yeah, the job budget is a factor, of course. Yeah, but going back to this, yeah, so I graded out the face using Object ID and then graded with a ramp. I had to, like, of course, track this in, and then I multiply it out so that I could remove it. And then I have a radial here. Now, the radial, this is a bit controversial, but I like to bump the face. And I'll show you why, because it's just, you want to direct the person's attention. This is, of course, not CG compositing anymore. This is what I called grading, okay? So I grade my own shots, and so, of course, sometimes I grade them in DaVinci, sometimes I grade them in Nuke Studio, and sometimes I grade them in Nuke directly. And I guess that's why I was showing you all previously why I had the scopes, you know, because on the scopes, you can kind of see on the OmniScopes, you know, you can kind of see what you're doing in terms of... I actually have it off now. I think I forgot to turn it on. Just a second. I have the scopes off. There you go. Not they're on. So that's why I have the scopes here, because the scopes just kind of... Well, actually, this is a good point to show you what happens here. So I'm going to just show you this real quick. You see, that's the amount of light that wasn't there. And some people might say, oh, but that looks a bit unrealistic. And it might. I think, well, this is the wrong LUT, and I have to lower this f-stop, of course. But I just prefer for the person to look at his face. So you see, when you look here, you see that's basically with no... I don't know why it's taking so long to process just one grade node. Might be because I'm streaming. It could be. I mean, I haven't... Yeah, but you see, that's... For me... You're not looking at his face, you're looking at his sword. You're not really, your eyes are not going to his face. And then once I pump that up, now I'm looking at his face. So it might be a bit too much. But of course, the reason I was saying that I grade stuff is also because, I'm going to show you in a second. I need to really find a way to put the scopes on the screen here. Because I think it will be easier for me to show you like that. But... give me a second. I'm going to just like switch this on and just try to show you what I mean. See if I can zoom in a little bit. I'm going to like, yeah, wait a minute. So, Bokeh, yeah, so you see there, like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like, if I pump this up, I'll show you what I mean. So if I put, like, imagine if I go really off board here, and I put a 5 on the scopes. Oh, I'm having some problems with my camera here. Sometimes it switches it off, I think. Come on. now it does that. Come on. It just decided not to work anymore. Why are you doing this to me? Oh man. Why is it doing this to me? Oh, okay. Oh, I know why. Okay. It's always the user the problem, right? Like I forgot to put a new battery. That's why. Now this is gonna work for sure. Yes, there we go. So now it's like waking up, trying to wake up. Okay, so now you probably can see it. I think now you can probably see it. Yes, now you can probably see it. So you see, this is a bit difficult, isn't it? I definitely need to sort this out, don't I? I definitely need to sort this out. You see, the scopes allow me to see this. You see, if you look down here on my false color, you can kind of see that the orange is like completely broken on his face. And if I remove that color correction that I've done, you see. So as long as you have some scopes, you can clearly see what's going on the whole thing. So because you then can see and judge what's breaking on the shot. You see, for example, here the face is too overexposed, and you can kind of actually tell. You can kind of actually tell that's the face and that's the shoulders. You can kind of tell what's going on there, which is really cool. So keep that in mind. That sometimes scopes are really cool. Now I need to like sort this camera a bit better because I've noticed that it's, first of all, it's the wrong color space. It's really washed out when you're watching it on your stream, on the stream. And I need to like get a better locker, a better way of actually setting it up. So I'll do that next time so that you can see the scopes a bit better. So I'll do that next time. But anyway, going back to this thing, I've now removed this color space here. Obviously here, if you don't have scopes, you can also use this. This also can help you with that. So did you see what's overexposed on the shot? That also can help quite a lot. It's still a bit overexposed, but it's not too much. I'm going to remove it. I mean, we're getting 1.7, which is the... I'm never afraid of overexposing. Sometimes it's just normal to overexpose. You know. Okay. Then we have a bunch of things we did. Okay. So this is a bit of color correction on the hair. And then I have the lashes. I think that's... I'm just going to... I think that's... yeah, so I have the eyelashes a bit more blonde because they weren't blonde and he should be blonde. So I have done that as well. Just to open up this up. Sorry, opened the wrong thing. And then I have the eyebrows. So I tweaked the eyebrows so that it would a bit more blonde. Now keep in mind that all of this was then set up once, and then I copy pasted this throughout all the shots. So this entire setup was copy pasted. I did a shot as a master for this character, and then used the setup to copy paste to all my other compositors and also for myself as well. Then I have the shield. So the shield is on this side here. So that's a color correction for the shield because the client kind of told me that shield was too dark, so I've made it more. Then we have the sword, which was also too dark, so they wanted to pump up the two things. So we have the shield and the sword a bit more pumped. Then we have the armor. They also complained that the armor wasn't bright enough. Then I have the cape, which was also too dark, so I'm tweaking it separately. I'm also removing some saturation from his face. Getting the inner armor gone, because this thing is really low quality, as you can see here. This was supposed to be cloth. Didn't really work out really well. We didn't manage to do it in CG well, and so we just tone it down so no one sees it. And it worked really well. It looks kind of like that kind of velvet thing that usually armors might have. So that worked quite nicely, I think. And then I have the face, pumped it a little bit more. The eyes, definitely, because the client was saying his eyes were too dark and too dead, and now they're a bit brighter as well. And then the hands, I think it's that here, yeah. So that we can see the hands a bit more. And then the armor below, so the cloth of the armor, so it's a bit like, you know, a little bit nicer with these kind of details here. All these little things add up at the end. And then, of course, just a grade for the full body. Like, I just graded a little bit, and that was it. Now, before I go into the fog, let's just go into the background as well. So the background, which was this. Now, these days, I use deep compositing, so I don't have to separate, because I really hate that we need to separate foreground from background. So whenever I can, I don't separate it. But obviously, not always I have... Not always I have the chance of having deep compositing, and definitely not on this project. You'll see the Zeiss project and the Vermintide project when I get to them and deconstruct them on the show, on these streams. You'll see that we have deep information as well. But I wanted to show you this because the background, which goes through the same type of thing, you know, like we have the, you know, raw GI and the raw diffuse gets multiplied in direct lighting. We removed some of the saturation because it was very saturated. It was almost like illegal colors on my scopes. And then that gets multiplied by the light. And then we color corrected it a little bit. And again, removed some of the extra saturation because it was going a bit too far. That then gets merged on. The refraction, which was the windows, we graded them out of color, put a bit more and a bit hue, a bit of glow, and more color correction so that they looked like that. And then they get merged on top and they kind of give you this kind of perception that there's like soft light inside. Works with nice with the depth of field. Refraction, we've also tweaked it here so we could get it a bit more visible. We put it in, and then specular light, we've pumped it, put it in as well. And then I think emission is just, actually, there was no emission, so we don't need this one. Actually, I should have removed it. I forgot probably. Okay, so then, let's see here. We then, so we then desaturate a little bit more, and then that's why I wanted to stop, because the fog. I'm going to go to the first frame. Because I can't really, you know, I have a setup for the fog here on the character as well, as you can see, which is up here. But I want to go to this fog. So this is, I've talked about this on my channel. I always ask my CG artists to do the depth pass, to do the ZD focus, of course, and that needs to be a raw depth pass, which has no antialization, and it has all the raw values. And so the real depth pass would look like this, you know, like that's the real depth pass. Sorry, I pressed the wrong number. That's the raw depth pass. You see, if I hover the mouse here, 2000, 4000, you see, you can't see it really. But if I do this, you see, that's the visibility of it. And it is supposed to be jagged edges. It's supposed to be unfiltered. All of this changes with deep, of course, but I don't have deep for this. So then, besides the real depth, I always ask my CG artists to do a filtered depth, which is a fake depth. It's like a ramp. So that's like this. It's which one is it? It's this one. So that's the fake depth, and this depth is basically just a ramp from distance to camera to the last pixel. It's automated, and it's a custom-made thing that we do in Redshift. I've done it as well in Arnold as well. And this is fully filtered, as you can see. And the reason why it's fully filtered, you have all the little edges, it has the same filtering quality as the render, is because we're going to use this as a fog pass. And then, besides asking for a fog pass, I also ask for a Y depth. So we have the Z depth, and then we have the Y depth. Now, the Y depth allows you to do this kind of stuff. It allows you to do, you know, a lingering fog, like you can treat the thing in Y. So basically you can do like a ground fog, not a ground fog, but like treat the color correction of the shot with the ground fog, really. That's the idea. And so once I have these two passes, which look really funny here, we then shuffle them out, so that's the depth, and then I graded it a little bit. I merge it with a white because it should be like fog, so there should be a pure white behind. So that's now a fully filtered fog pass, old school depth pass, really. The Brainy Monkey says, I've been using Photoshop since '89. Oh my God, that is old. That is really old. I think I need to show you something, since now you showed up with that thing. I need to show you something. I think you're gonna enjoy this. Let me just like show you this. Let me just I'm just gonna grab one thing. Now, I know you can't hear me that well, but I'm going to try to speak up. Now, I don't know if you can hear me, but can you see here that I have Photoshop 2 here? That's the original Photoshop. Photoshop version 2. Look at that. That's nice, right? I have also like Perfect 3. Yeah. I don't know if you guys are seeing this though, but I hope so. Yeah, I'm gonna like hopefully you saw it. Hopefully you saw it. So that's like the Photoshop 2. I need to like set up a way to actually have a running mic so that I can run around on my studio and actually you can still hear me. Did you see it? Because I wasn't checking it on my monitor, of course. Hopefully you saw it. And hopefully did you hear it? I hope you saw it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Cause After Effects. Yeah, that's the original box. Hopefully you've seen it. I hope so. I wasn't sure if the stream went down, because sometimes that camera kind of goes down a bit. But hopefully you've seen it. Let me know if you saw what I was trying to show. And also if you heard it, because of course I was very far away from the microphone. I don't know if you heard it. So let me know if you heard and saw that. Okay, going back to this thing. Hopefully you saw it. Okay, so going back to this thing, we then, as I said, we have this kind of fake fog, which has a white. And then I clamp it a bit because I don't want to like go get a 16-foot cord. Yeah, I have cords, long ones, but I want it to be wireless, you know. Okay, so then that means that we have the building here, and then that's the fog. You see, that's like a blue tint fog, and it just helps to sell the CG a bit, because you get like this kind of sense. You get this kind of sense that there's like some kind of atmosphere in the shot, you know. Okay, cool. So then that. Oh, good, great. You guys saw it and heard it. Apologies for the shaky camera. I promise next time I'll set this up a bit better. I'll get a wireless mic, and I'll set it up better. I actually have a wireless mic here, so I can. You see, I have like this one of these Sony wireless mics. See if I can open this. Why is this stuck now? Okay. Nothing is going well today. Yeah, so I have one of these like wireless Sony mics, so I can probably hook it up to the camera and then use it for the sound. So I'll do that. Probably it's the best way to do it, so that you can hear it. That would be cool, I think. Okay, cool. I'll set it up next time so I have a bit better setup, because I feel like sometimes on these streams it's hard for me to explain when I don't show you what I'm doing, you know. So it's kind of cool. Okay, so that's give you the fog. Now on this side we have the Y fog, which I've graded, put some white as well, and as you can see, that's just like the lingering one, and then of course that gives you just like some lingering reddish tint thing, which looks a bit shit like this here, but you know, once you've color corrected, it gets you a better version. Then I put like some really subtle glows on top of the backgrounds, especially for the lamps, and also this moon hitting the rooftop here. Got a bit few more, and then from there we have a sky. So this is the sky. This is a sky, of course, on a 3D system, so that's just really simple, really. It's a camera from it's an alembic camera from Maya. And then we have a sky, and it's like this really, really large sky. It doesn't even need to be this big. So I think this was actually rendered differently later on, because the moon should be on that side. So I think this was changed in the meantime. Oh, I apologize. I didn't notice that. Didn't notice I wasn't showing the screen. So I'll go back to this. I was just gonna share you. Sorry about that. There's like a 20-second delay on this thing, so sometimes I forgot. So yeah, as I was saying, so we had like the fog here, graded the fog, put some white on the background, clamped it a little bit, and then that gives you this. It gives you this, you know. So it's enough to give you some atmospheric blue tints going on here. Which is nice. And then from there, we basically have the Y fog, which we color correct, merge on the white, and then clamp a little bit, and then merge it on the bottom. So it looks a bit shit, but you know, it doesn't matter. It's just give it a bit more atmospheric. And then we multiply. Then we have a bit of glow hitting the rooftop here. So it's the moon's rooftop. Moon should be on that side. Lighting up this environment. And then I have another glow here which gets bounced around. That then gets merged to the sky. Now the sky is this Photoshop matte painting by David Gibbons, and it's a really nice matte painting. It's like a 10,000K matte painting with the sky. I'm gonna just like pump it up a little bit. So it has a lot of dynamic range. So we have all the cloud systems here. We have the moon here as well. And it has quite a lot of dynamic range, as you can see here, which is nice. Always try to do matte paintings with a lot of dynamic range. Art Liffer, just wanted to let you know that, yes, it is being recorded. YouTube streams, that's why I'm streaming on YouTube now, because Twitch deletes the stream after a while. After 90 days. So everything is always available on YouTube on my streams. And in fact, you can watch part 1 of this stream as well. They're all there. They're all available on my live tab on YouTube. So you can always watch it. Yeah, so the matte painting is 16-bit. It's not 32, it's 16. Photoshop doesn't really work very well with 32. I need to do, like, I've been using less and less matte paintings these days, of course. But this matte painting is split by layers and everything. But yeah, we brought it in as a JPEG because this is just the original, the old file that I had. I think this is wrong. Like, I think by mistake doing the breakdown, I probably replaced this because this should have been the Photoshop file, not the JPEG file. I'm not sure why that's the case because it should have been that one. I think when I was doing the breakdown, I swapped around the wrong sky, and so that's why. Now this is just a simple camera from Alembic, from Maya, and then just a circle sphere. So we cropped, grade, saturated. That's the matte painting, and then that gets merged on. There on the sky, and then we have some depth of field. Now the depth of field is really not really anything fancy. I mean, we have the bokeh here, PG bokeh, regular PG bokeh. We're using the actual lens information. So in Maya we had a 35mm, so we're using a 35mm. We also use it as a 45. Our aperture is 22/16, so we are using a 45 super 45 millimeter, well, actually a 35mm, sorry. And then the scale is 1 centimeter, and then the bokeh is just the real depth, real bokeh that we had, which you can kind of see if you look through here. I have videos about this, so you can always kind of like look at it. Now this is cloned to and so that you get like these nice aberrations and nice bokeh, especially these ones here. These are quite nice, and you can kind of see them here. So you get like these nice bokehs. They all come from the kernel here, from the kernel. So it's this thing. If I switch it off, you kind of, oh wait a minute. If I switch it off and don't use the kernel, you can use circular, and then it looks really different. You have aperture blades. Or you can use the input one, and the input one just breaks it a bit more, which is the one I'm using. So now this is cloned. It's cloned to the character, and that's why I wanted to show you this. So this is the character, and the character also has the same kind of fog, but obviously it's not the same fog because I am only using it a little bit. So I have the fog going in here. So that's the fog that I'm applying to him, and it's very subtle, but it gives you enough to get a bit of fog in between the shield and his body. So you get like a little bit of atmospheric going on here. And then we pre-molt finally. Finally we pre-multiply. And then once we pre-multiply, we then have the bokeh. Now, the bokeh here, I'm using that depth of field. So the depth of field is very subtle for him, but as you can see, the sword is motion blur, is depth of field. It's a bit, and of course, if you merge, let me just open this up with focus distance. So you see, that's the distance. I know I've done an extension so that I could fix the edges. So I'll show you what that means. So we have the depth here. I then can visualize it, visualize the depth. And you see we get all the broken up edges here in the hair. I'm color edging it so that I have like an extension. Back in the day, I did this with the color edge node, but obviously you should use it with the edge extension node because Nuke has one now, so we don't need to use these ones anymore. You can use the one that comes with Nuke. This was a long time ago done, so at the time we didn't have something like this. So that extends everything. I'm going to remove that. And then that allows me to do this, you see, because if I don't have the extension, I get this. And so I'll show you what it looks like. So if you go to the focused image, you see that's what you get. You start getting breakups on the hair and also breakups on the edges here as well. Now, I actually think there's a mistake on this PG bokeh. I just noticed. Or was it... Oh, no, wait a minute. Because No, wait a minute. This is a very old PG bokeh. I'm not sure now if this is wrong. No, it's not wrong. No, never mind. Never mind what I said. Never mind. Let's go back. Okay. Now, if I enable that color edge, you see it kind of like gets rid of most of those artifacts, especially these artifacts here, which I'm getting on the edges. So I get like a cleaner depth of field. none of this is important these days, because if you use deep, you don't have these issues. Like, deep kind of solves most of these issues. Now, I have a little bit of a cheeky thing here, which is the depth of field coming in and then also being blurred. So reason I did that is because I'm then using that to run my, to have my depth as a mask. So if I want to use it later on, I don't think I've used it before. I don't think I've used it again, but it doesn't matter. Because I think at the time, when I got this shot, I think it's different from other shots, but I got the Y and the Z depth separately here, but then on the character, I didn't. So I had to kind of fake it. I had to like use depth, grade it, and then color edge it to fake my own depth pass so that I could use to run the fog here, you see. And because it wasn't pre-multiplied yet, it doesn't really matter that it has these kind of artifacts. It doesn't matter because all of that gets cut by the pre-multiplication here. So that's easier, Now, I might be a good chance to, since there's so many people on the chat right now. Again, I can't thank you enough for you to all be here. So cool to support. There's a lot of people watching right now, so I just wanted to like remind everyone that we do have 2 giveaways at the end of the stream. We are giving away 1 Nuke course, and we're giving away 1 Nuke Indie for license for free. And also want to let everyone know that we're now doing these streams weekly. So Thursdays, 3 o'clock. Next week we're doing showreel reviews, and then the week after we do Nuke Compositing again. So I'm going to alternate between Nuke Compositing and showreels. I don't promise to do them every week because sometimes I have to go on set. And sometimes I have projects that I have to deliver, but I'll try my best to do it every Thursday. The plan for my channel is to do every Tuesday the VFX Notes podcast and every Thursday the stream. That's the plan. At least that's my plan. We'll see how much I can keep it. Okay. So yeah, so depth of field goes on here. Now I have like a few glows. Just simple ones, a little bit of glints and glows, you see, so that you get like these like little lights that ping everywhere. I like pinging lights. You basically get them like that, you get like some pings here and there, which is always helpful to do it. I think someone asked me why wasn't I use, oh yeah, Pietro is asking, is there any particular reason for you to use the standard glow instead of the exponential glow? You're right. At the time, I didn't really remember to use the exponential glow. I don't know if you noticed, but I always have 2 glows. And so I'm doing my own fake exponential glow anyway, because I have an inner glow and an outer glow. So that's kind of like an exponential glow, because you kind of get this. You see, this is the pings of light that I'm creating here, as you can see there. And so you see I have the broader glow and then the thinner glow. So I'm already kind of making my own exponential glow. Whenever I can, whenever I try, I always try to like not use gizmos or plugins, because you never know if it works on the farm. You never know if the other artist is going to be able to open it. So I try my best to minimize the amount of gizmos and try to have the most vanilla version of Nuke possible for compatibility, both for the farm, for my other artists, and also if I want to open it like I'm opening now, it still works. You see, I've done this years ago and I can still open it, as you see. So now from there I also have some more glows. Now these glows, I'm going to just show you here. I'm doing these glows coming from using the specular pass as my glow source. Both of them are speculars. Now on this one, I'm using the specular again, and then I'm using yet again 2 bigger glows, and then I merge them on top, and then so basically, when I add up all these glows, this is what I get. You see this? I get these pings of light, almost like these fancy pings of light that hit the metal stuff. Yeah, I like the way I describe things. They pings of light that hit the metal stuff. It's almost like I'm talking like a client, isn't it? And then last but not least, I have, what is this? I can't, man, it's been a few years. Sometimes I can't remember myself. Oh yeah, this is a glint. Yes, that's right. The most underrated gizmo in Nuke, the glint. And I know it looks horrible, I know, but don't worry, I'm color correcting it. And then once you merge it, I know it looks a bit fake, but it kind of works. If I add all of this out, you see? That kind of looks cool. And yes, you could use a plugin. Yes, you can use Sapphire. You can do all that. But then I just prefer to use this, which is a native vanilla-made Nuke type of thing that you can then copy-paste between setups. So, then last but not least, we have the background, which is that. And then I think I put... yeah, so we have the background, we put the dude there, we have a light trap. Not that the light trap is going to do much, it's only going to really do this here. You hardly see it, the light trapping. And then I edge blur it a little bit. Now the edge blur is just going to help to, let's see here, so if I can show you. I actually think, yeah, it's only 1.3. It's just going to help to merge the edge a little bit more. And then I merge the light trap separately. So the light trap is only really affecting it down here, really. So that's now done. Should have put a crop. I can do it now. Should put a crop there. Okay, so when in doubt, glinted it out. I love that. That's a t-shirt right there, Nicholas. Okay, so let's see here. We have... yeah, now... This is a different conversation. So we have this. This is an Action VFX. My buddies at Action VFX. This is like an element they have there. I think I've done this in the channel before. And I have this as a card on the 3D system. So this is basically set up kind of align with the camera so that we have it like there as a card. I know this looks a bit funky, I know. But then what I do is I pick up the dude here, which, by the way, should have been cropped as well. Apologies for that. I should have cropped this. I'm not sure why it wasn't cropped. It doesn't matter. Oh, no, wait a minute. This shouldn't be cropped. No, should it? Am I destroying the script now? No, I'm not. It doesn't matter. I've delivered it now. So I pick up this, and then I bring back... the depth pass, that depth pass that I already blurred. Remember that I know this is a bit confusing. Sorry about that. So remember that I had the depth of field on the dude, and then I also had a separate depth of field. They're all cloned, by the way. And that depth of field was just doing this, just doing depth of field to this fog pass. You can also do this if you had a fog pass for it, as well. And so I'm using this here, shuffling it out, color edge it a little bit, pre-multiply it by the alpha channel so that I have now a proper fog. And now I have my smoke, color corrected a bit to blue because it's a blue moon, graded a little bit, and then I graded with the depth pass. So this is a very cheap and dirty depth of field, fog, atmospheric kind of thing. And so, yes, you're right. Projects are never finished. Now, I should have denoised this, but sorry. just like Francesco is saying, nothing is ever finished. So I probably should have done that. I should have denoised this, and I should have cropped it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I did a mistake there. Doesn't matter. And then I color corrected that and graded it a bit more, and now I have a really subtle depth-based, whatever, atmospheric. And that gets merged on top of the whole thing. So This is my comp at the moment. This is the comp, and then I merge this on top, and see you get kind of, and you can probably say, this looks a bit fake, but yes, but in hindsight, I probably would have merged it less. I probably in hindsight I would have like graded down. I feel like this should have been graded down. But it does help because when you're watching the trailer, and if you look at the stream from last week, if I play this back, I'm going to put it on full screen so you can see it, what I mean. Is this on? Yes, it is. Okay, so I'll put it on full screen for you to see it. So you see, that's you see, this is now the Blackmagic out, the video out that I have. See how much it helps? It just helps to think that there's like some kind of atmosphere. But the reason I put the depth is because I want to cut it to the character. Now, if you look really closely, there's some mistakes. You see, look at this. There's like atmosphere going on in between the cape and the character. So obviously I should have used the cape ID to cut the depth. I didn't do that. But it just helps the shot. It just gives you a little bit of extra je ne sais quoi, It's a bit dirty and cheap, but I'm cheap. I'm Portuguese, so I like dirty and cheap. Okay. We're almost done. Okay, we're almost done. And then this is called the Toby fix. It's because Turbian is the one that used to do this. So I still call it the Toby fix. So I basically have like a grade node here, clamped it, do a weighted blur. It's really slow, by the way. And I don't even know if this is actually working. I don't think it is. I think this is so old. This is just like a extra glint whatever thing that I put on top of everything. And it just kind of gives you an extra layer of shit on the lens, really. And then I have some grading. Now the grading, this is really, really slow right now. I don't know why. Why is it so slow? It's not playing back. Hello? Hello? Oh, okay, wait a minute. It's... Yes, I could nub. I could have done that, but because I was doing 65 shots, I probably didn't have time to do it. Never judge a production shot, okay? Because we never have time to do anything. Never judge it. You can always judge a student shot because the student shots should have been better, okay? So always judge a student shot because they should have taken the time to fix everything. But never judge a production shot. Because the production shot is really difficult for you to judge the client feedback, the interference the client had, all the problems that might have happened during the project. It is really difficult for you to know what happened. So because you don't know those things, I never judge any production. So yes, I could have animated that, but I probably ran out of time. Okay, so we go there, we put in the atmosphere, and then we put that grime on the lens, and then we have a radial here with the chromatic, with the color correction. I'm not sure, is this previewing? Hello? I'm gonna switch off my Blackmagic out because I don't think it's working. I think it's kind of slowing down everything, and I don't want to slow it down. So let's just okay, cool. I think now it's gonna be faster. Yeah, it's not doing anything, is it? That's weird. Did I not do anything? Oh, maybe I didn't do anything. Oh, I didn't do it. Okay, I probably just left these from another place. This is the color correction. Now, this is a long time with the client to try to get the contrast right and the colors right, and we just did a lot of color correction. I'm not even going to comment on that because obviously that's client-related stuff. And then I have some lens tweaks. I have a radial here, graded to grade here, and grade. So these are the typical vignettes. So I have an inner vignette, an outer vignette, And then I have an inner vignette as well, just to pretend that it's a lens. I also have some sharpening. Now the sharpening just gives you like some extra destruction of the CG, which I like a lot. Just sharpens it up and also makes it more like a video game, because the client wanted it to look like a video game. So it kind of breaks it up like that. Now I'm doing a log to lin before I do the sharpening, because if I don't put these two in, the sharpening is going to really break the edges. If you look in here, sorry, I just unplugged it by mistake. You see all these black artifacts here? You see? That's coming from a sharpening, which is too extreme. If I do log to lin, then I don't get those artifacts, because obviously the image gets bumped up, like it gets lifted. We then sharpen, then we bring it back to normal. So basically it's a log to lin, lin to log, and then the opposite, log to lin. So that's it. Some chromatic aberration. I don't use this node anymore, but you know, like I used it at the time, and we get some chromatic aberration. I think you see it down here. See, that's the chromatic aberration we're getting as well. In here we see it as well. So that's a nice chromatic aberration. Again, I have no plate to match, so this is completely artistically driven chromatic aberration. Then I brought in a lens grid. So this is a grid that I shot with my own camera. I picked up a camera with a similar sensor, a 45mm sensor, filmed the grid, and then I basically added lens distortion to the shot just to give it a bit more bowing. And this is the exact distortion you would have on a shot like this if you would have shot it for real. A little bit of grade, and then the grain. The grain is a piece of grain that we shot, and then I'm using it as a soft matte and putting it in. I do put more grain on top with the LumaPicture grain. If anything, I would say that it's too grainy, this project. I think I went too far with the grain. Look at that, that's a strange name. Oh! 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 That's funny. At least it's funny for me. So yeah, I think I went a bit too far. In hindsight, I probably wouldn't put so much grain. I probably would have made it cleaner. And that's it. That's it, really. That's the shot. That's the shot. Now, we have a lot more shots. So I think we're gonna wrap up for today here. I think that I showed you what I wanted on this shot. I feel like, and we'll do the giveaway now. I really wanted to like do the other shots as well. So I want to do this shot here. So I'll do it next. We'll do it in 2 weeks from now. So remember, I'm doing streams every week now. So next week is the showreel reviews, and the week after that we'll continue this. And so I want to open up some of the other shots as well, especially this one. I really like this moon shot that I did here. So I'm gonna just like show you. That's I think it's 490. I think it's 490. I think it is this one. Is it this one? I think it is. Yeah, this one. This is a nice shot as well. I want to show you this one as well. So my plan is to show you 5 more shots, but we'll be quicker because a lot of the rest of the stuff is the same. This is I like this shot a lot. It's a really nice shot of her jumping here. So, but yeah, but don't go anywhere because I'll open this one because I want to talk about the rain. I want to talk about the rain setup for this shot and also for the other shots with the rain. And so I think most likely we'll do one more stream with this project. And then I think after that, I think I'm going to jump into either the Zeiss project or maybe perhaps... We might either jump into the Zeiss project, or I was also thinking to show you a couple of shots from the Walking Dead March to War, which has some really nice stuff here to show you, especially one of the first shots here as well. So I'm I'm thinking that once I'm done, so we'll do one more stream with this trailer, and then I think I'm going to jump into this one because it has some cool shots like this one here. Really want to show you this one. There's a lot of projections going on here as well. And I think there's also this shot here. Where's the shot? This one here, which is all full projections, and there's this one as well. So there's a few of them that I wanted to show you here. So I think I might do this one next. But yeah, in 2 weeks from now, we'll open this one. I'll show you the rain setup. I also want to show you the moon one here as well. And there's a couple of other little tweaks because some shots have some specific little things that I want to show you from production. And then we'll wrap with this project. And that's it, really. I think we're done. Look at that. Again, thank you so much for being here. It's amazing that you're here. Don't forget that we'll do the giveaway now, but don't forget before we do the giveaway, just wanted to shout out the Foundry that were so nice to support this stream. And also make sure that you all know that I am doing a stream next week. So next week we have the showroom reviews. So don't forget to go in, go there and hit the notification button. So the next stream will be next week. So we're doing it at 3 o'clock next week. This is because the Foundry is doing a stream at 5, so I'm going to be before their stream. So the showroom reviews come back next week, and then the week after that, just keep an eye on my live tab, because you'll see that I'll put up all the upcoming streams that we'll be doing. So yeah, so that's the idea. Okay, so let's do the giveaway. I think people had the time to do the giveaway. So, but if you haven't had the time, that's the giveaway for the Nuke license, and that's the giveaway for the course. So I'm gonna just open up it up here. So let's see here. So how many people do we have here on this thing? Let's see how many people lined up. And again, thank you so much for being here. Much appreciated. Okay, so we have 282 people for the Nuke license, 118 for the Nuke course. Okay, so let's start with the Nuke course. One of the 118 people. Thank you so much for all the lovely messages. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. So don't forget, we're here every week. Next week, showroom reviews. The week after, compositing, and then we'll basically intercut every other week compositing and every other week showroom reviews. Okay, so I'm gonna do the winner for the Nuke course. So let's see who won this thing. Okay, let's see here. Draw. What is the new drink? The new drink is green cola. I promise no one is sponsoring me for this, but this doesn't have acid, so it doesn't really break up your teeth. It's really, really good. I've talked about that earlier in the stream. Okay, so who won the Nuke course? Let's see here. So the Nuke course was won. Okay, so we have a winner here. Let's see here. The Nuke course goes to... let's see, just a second. Okay, so the Nuke course goes to Spider Bro 7. Spider BR 7. That's the number. Congratulations. You've won the Nuke course. Congratulations. I hope you're here. Really hope you're here. Spider-Man, yes. Spider-Man. Yeah, it is you. Yeah, congratulations. So I hope you're not one of my students already. So if you're one of my students, I'll give you the workshops, which is my second course. And by the way, I'll let you know that if anyone is interested on Mark Compositing, you can buy my courses. I have 2 courses available on that link. So if you can always go and buy my course as well. It's really cheap, and there's a lot of hours of footage there. So yeah, and of course don't buy it right now because we're gonna have well, no, we just did the giveaway, so yes, go and buy it. You can go and buy it now. thank you so much for the Foundry for sponsoring the stream, and now we're gonna do the giveaway for the Foundry's Nuke license. So the Nuke license goes to, we have 288 people available here for that. Let's see here. Winner. Let's see here. Winner will be draw winner, and I'm gonna draw it now. Okay, so the winner of the Foundry Nuke license. Let's see, the winner of the Nuke Indie license. This is for 1 year. Now, keep in mind that I'm going to do this every time I do Nuke Compositing. We'll have a giveaway. So that means the Foundry will give 1 Nuke license for every stream I do. So if you didn't get it today, don't worry. We'll get it later. Okay, so the winner is Pablo Gotar. Pablo Gotar, I guess. Or I don't know. I don't know if it's Gotar or Gotar or Guitar. I don't know. Hope you're here, Pablo. Congratulations. You've won the Nuke license, the Nuke Indie license for 1 year. The Foundry will be in touch with you. I hope you're here. Are you here? So we can say congratulations to you. Are you here? Remember, you have to be here. Maybe they're not here. Are they here? Are you here, Pablo? I don't see anyone called Pablo on the chat. Is Pablo here? Should I do the thing again? Okay. I don't think Pablo is here. So if Pablo is not here, I'm gonna run the. I always say this on my streams. For you to win, you have to be here. So your name is Pablo as well. Okay, so I'll do it again. So I'll do it again because I don't think Pablo is here. So I'll do I'll do this again. So I'll do the Nuke license again. So I'm gonna just roll the dice again. So the Nuke Indie license goes to. Okay. I think this person is here because I've seen it before. Okay, so Pablo is Pablo Escobar. Okay, so the Nuke license then goes to Alban Larson. So Alban Larson, I think I've seen you before here on the chat. I think I've seen your name before. If you are here, just say something. And so Alban, yeah, here he is. So Alban, you've won the Nuke Indie license for 1 year. I will send your email to the Foundry, and then they will be in touch with you. Now, keep in mind, it might take a few days for them to contact you. So keep that in mind. It always takes a bit of time to get in touch and to do all those things. And that's it, really. That's it. We are done. Look at that. We are done. Another stream on the bag. I want to thank the Foundry. Foundry here. I want to thank the Foundry for sponsoring my stream. I want to thank all of the people that were here today. I don't have stats because the analytics are down on YouTube. I know we had a peak of 150 people, but I have no idea if we had. I think we might have had like 1,000 people in total, probably, by looking at the stats that I kept an eye. But thank you so much. Next week, don't forget, we are doing a stream for the showreel reviews. And then the week after that, we'll come back again with Nuke Compositing. So remember, streams every week on Thursdays at 3 o'clock. I'm going to try 3 o'clock next week, see if it works. If we don't get a lot of people watching at 3, I might go back to 5. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to experiment doing it at 3 o'clock. But yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.